All right, I think we're good.
I might need a refresher on what we learned from Carol, though.
Yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of a recap, I think, if that's all right, Zerk.
Yeah, Brett just stopped paying attention after he got his money back.
Yep.
Takes a while to count it.
Well, I also solved most of the riddles on my own without anyone else's help, and then didn't get the last one, so I got kicked out.
It's okay. I realized that probably making you guys do proverb middles or proverb riddles towards at the very end of the night, past ending time, was probably not the best decision. But you know, it is what it is.
We got there. We got there.
Thanks, Google.
I was like, let's be real. There's never a good time to throw this group riddle.
Yeah, we are.
I'm gonna cite my normal excuse.
Everybody show your desktop so I can see you're not Googling.
We have a
Yeah.
collective int of.
Brett immediately just breaking the immersion by saying, "Well, I googled it and I never would have gotten it."
What?
That's the BJack 18.
Y'all got phones, right?
Oh man.
Cool. Yeah. Let me see if I can swap some music here.
Music, you say?
Let's see.
Boom, boom. I want to watch somebody play as a bard, but only beatboxes and doesn't have an instrument.
That would be hype, actually. Yeah, somebody should absolutely do a beatboxing
Like-
card.
Like they just either lack the ability to, or just like doesn't know how to play instruments, so they just mouth it.
That'd be freaking hype. I love that idea.
I will take 5% of all royalties for that character.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and do a quick recap for us, and then I'll swap our music over to the rambunctious music of the carnival. So last session we began with you all confronting the double candlefoot situation behind the Hall of Illusions.
Mm.
After questioning this individual, they revealed themselves to be a Kenku, very raven-like in their demeanor, named Kettle Stream. And they told you that they were a warlock of an entity known as the Bilna, who they told you is an archfey from the Feywild. And they were quite concerned because recently, about in the last year or so, they have lost connection with their patron, and hence the majority of their powers. And what they have been doing is kind of poking around the carnival, kind of causing trouble because they believed that the carnival's owners knew more about this situation than they were giving on, and they refused to speak initially with Kettle Stream, kind of throwing her out of the carnival. And they snuck back in and have been kind of doing a few rambunctious activities, kind of creating some trouble to get the attention of the carnival owners so that she may potentially speak with them about it and kind of force their hand into that. But hasn't been successful, so Kettlestream kind of beseeched you after taking notice of your performance in the Big Top and how you were extended an invitation to speak with management from Burley. They kind of beseeched you to inquire about the situation to the owners, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, and potentially find out more beforehand. At that point, you decided to enlist the help of Kettlestream They did mention that they stole the voice of Candlefoot and gave Roma a strange doll that, if dismembered around the neck area, will return Candlefoot's voice from Kettlestream and essentially reverting Kettlestream back to their normal voice, whatever that may be. You all went looking around. You went to the Pixie Kingdom, played hide and seek, and had some fun there before ending the night heading to the carousel and solving some riddles to find some juicy, gossipy rumors about the carnival itself. You all did see, a few of you, a strange-looking girl riding the carousel, kind of dark-skinned, ghoulish, a pig-like mask, holding a giant lollipop, only for a brief moment before the girl disappeared out of thin air, seemingly. You're not quite sure where she went, but you did find out some useful information from the carousel unicorns after solving their riddles. I'm sure you guys have that information written down. But at this point, you are nearing the end of the carnival. You have about an hour left. Yes, probably give or take a few minutes until the final event of the carnival, which is the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch, which everyone seems to be very animated and excited about. Where the energy started very high in the first half of the carnival, kind of died down a little bit as people were getting a little tired, but that energy has risen back up at this point as the conclusion of the carnival draws near. So you guys are concluding your business at the carousel. You are free to do whatever you like, any last minute things you want to do. You do know that the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch takes place inside the big top, just like the extravaganza did. So you do know that that's where you will have to be in about an hour's time if you want to be there.
Is there like a voting thing or anything for that? Like, do they just pick someone?
You're not quite sure how it works, as someone who's never been at the carnival.
All right.
Well, we needed to talk to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. Did we want to do that now, or did we want to do anything beforehand? I guess I'm figuring they're going to be needed for the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch. So
Yeah, I assumed they would be in that area.
right.
I mean, I'm all for business over pleasure, and if God knows some of us wanted to finish out some rides, but I think the only two we had left are the dragonfly and the snail racing. But up to whatever everyone wants to do.
Indeed. I merely don't want to press out time too hard. Zerk, I guess we've been kind of up and around the carnival for a while now and kind of observed some of the other rides, including snail racing. If we were to go do that, do we have any kind of estimate how long it might take?
So a few of the longer rides you guys have already done, right? The Gondola Swans is probably definitely the longest. The ones that take the most time are the ones that you can't really bow out of early. So the Gondola Swans, unless you happen to jump into the river. The Mystery Mine, for example. All the other ones are kind of at your leisure, like the Dragonfly rides. What else do we have here? The Bubble Pop Teapot you all have not done. Those are very much like fast. Like you can ride around all night on Dragonfly if you want, or you can just do it real quick. The snail racing does seem to be it's obviously a race, so you can't bow out of it quickly unless you just want to lose.
Yeah, sure.
But it certainly doesn't take an hour. It seems like you only do from what you guys gather, because you spent a lot of time down there, the snails do a couple laps around the the racetrack, and they're very fast for being snails.
Okay.
So yeah, you probably have time to do other stuff before the crowning if you want to do any of these. You may be pushed for time if you want to do all three.
Sure, like going to a ride and then talking to the two of them and then doing that, like that would probably, or you're saying 2 rides and then talking to them would be too much probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you guys can go as fast or as slow as you want, so that can be up to you.
Cool.
I'm kind of judging time just based upon, how much time you spend at a location doing things.
Right. Well, we may be able to squeeze in one more ride before our rendezvous if anybody's interested.
It's
Yeah.
called, it's called snail racing. I'm not planning on going slow.
I mean, I'm a little curious to see how fast they can go.
Cade, do we race on the snails, Cade, or do we watch them race? That's very important.
What do you think, Roma? I mean,
I'm praying that we ride the snails. Please, Cade, tell me I get to ride a snail. Tell me.
I think it's best at the carnival to let it remain a surprise.
I'll
Let you
race
see
you,
with your
Roma.
own eyes.
You do not want to race me, Domino. Not in those flat shoes.
Oh, my snail's not gonna have flat shoes.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't mean race to the. I meant once we get to the snails, my snail will race your snail.
No,
A friendly wager?
I meant race to the snails, Domino.
Oh no, I'm close. I don't think I'll beat you in that.
Oh.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, Makit would just volunteer to race Roma to the snails.
I mean, we'll meet you there, but that sounds sweaty, and I've got a nice shirt on. No, I'm gonna make my way over there, and I'll certainly race your snail once I get there, and I'll put money on that. But it's a good observation about my shoes, and you're right. These are for comfort, not sport.
Nico's pony chews, beats his hoof into the ground and goes.
What's that, little horse? Free ride? Well, don't mind if I do.
Oh my god.
Is there room in the back of that cart to bring us down to the snail racing?
I don't have the wagon with us, but you could probably ride shoes. It would be you'd be a little big on him, but.
Well, that I mean, one way sounds dirty or sounds sweaty. The other sounds a little dirty. I guess I'll just walk. I think that might be.
Yeah. Well then, suit yourselves. Yeah, Nico's gonna kind of start heading that way. Just walking probably.
Look at them, Makit. They are cowards.
I agree. We gonna do this or what?
Yes, Cade, would you like to race? You look big, muscular, and fast.
Cade's eyebrow shoots up, and he looks down to Roma. You like a foot race? You're not talking the snails here.
I'm talking foot race, and Roma lifts her skirt a little bit, and you can see some bare feet with only 3 toes. How many toes do furbolgs have, Zerg?
I mean, you can have as many toes as you want.
I don't know, man.
All right, it's 3.
I mean,
let me Google that real quick.
Yeah, that's a
Living-
good question.
living next to enough radiation, yeah, as many as you want.
I wonder, actually, what is wonder what my movement speed is. Let me look. I'm just
I
curious.
think that they have a normal amount of toes.
Ooh.
Oh, now I'm embarrassed.
What's the numbers? What's the normal amount of toes?
Yeah, just the normal amount of toes.
Say it.
Sorry
Well, you
if
see-
anyone's offended by my definition of normal amount of toes.
You see 10 toes.
I
and
mean,
some
you could say
shredded calves.
standard maybe.
Yeah,
We're getting-
the
we're getting
American
canceled,
standard.
boys. I got us canceled.
We use the metric system. How many toes is that?
think
Yeah, how many metric
I
toes?
think that's 12. I think there are 12 toes in a foot.
Well, sorry. The
I'm sorry.
podiatry-based measurements are entirely imperial. It's honestly inches should be toes.
Okay.
And
Anyways, so
in this essay, I
Are
will.
we heading down to Are we heading down to snail racing?
Yes.
Yes, someone count 1, 2, 3 for the race, please.
Some of us more slowly than the others.
Yeah, Nico's gonna count on one.
Yeah, Cade'll race.
I'm still winded from chasing my money. I can't read, man.
Especially since Cade knows where he's going.
True.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So I'll go ahead and move y'all down to the.
Man, my Cade just looked a little faster
Wait.
when that happened, though.
Yeah, what?
Clock-
Who wins
clock
the
and
race?
tennis
Or...
rack. Oh, are you guys are actually racing down to the
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
all
Dan
of you?
put all of that stats in athletics.
Me,
Use it for something.
Roma, McKee, and Kadar.
All right, then go ahead and you three make 2 athletics checks for me. So just roll one athletics, and I'll take both rolls.
Just as before, Zerk, I'd like to substitute with acrobatics and parkour my way there.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Does my feline agility work here?
Oh, whoops.
Uh,
Oh, wait.
what is that?
Your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. When you move your turn in combat, you can double your speed.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Ooh.
my base movement is 40 feet instead of 30. So,
What?
Okay.
40 feet.
Oh my god.
I
So
picked
go
the
ahead,
race
go
before
ahead
the
and
race.
go ahead and roll.
Kyle, how did you manage that?
That's what I was saying. I accidentally clicked it twice. I'm so shocked.
You rolled the same thing twice, but in both slots as well.
or dang, McKee.
Oh,
Look.
man.
Okay.
That's a
Never
sprick,
said she was
boy.
strong. Athletics is not her strong suit.
Okay, Cade and McKee roll one more time.
No whammies?
Bro, what is going on in the
Whoa.
programming tonight?
Oh my goodness.
What is
Okay.
happening?
Yeah, Roma, you very quickly fall behind. You realize that the acrobatic skills and feline agility of Cade and McKee, you can't really you have trouble keeping up. And
Oh,
You're-
this bastard.
while you are moving much faster, McKeet, Cade seems to know the fairgrounds a little bit better than you, and perhaps knows some shortcuts. So you all you arrive at the precipice of snail racing about 3 to 4 seconds after Cade does. He just manages to stay slightly ahead of you as you all arrive.
Cade's leaning on a post when their party arrives.
Nice.
Yeah, you take the quick 2-3 seconds that you have before some other people arrive to look real cool, like you've been there for a lot longer.
Nice. Nico
Oh,
arrives.
thanks for showing up.
Yeah, Nico arrives a couple minutes after that, like kind of huffing and puffing. Like he started jogging once he realized that you guys were serious and didn't get anywhere close.
Domino will stroll in with some carnival snack in his hand that he stopped and got on the way.
Yeah.
He took his
Alrighty.
time.
Let me get rid of all this. Alrighty, you all approach and you see the grandstands next to this race course are filled with cheering fairgoers, ringing bells, swinging rattles, and waving flags. On the starting line, 8 giant snails are having their shells scrubbed by pixies. Above the circular course, a wooden gantry hangs from the branches of a central tree where 2 goblins officiate the proceedings. And you all hear, as you approach, these goblins yell out, "All right! Everybody ready for the last race of the night before the crowning?
Woo!
Anybody who wants to take part, step on up!"
Yeah.
I mean, Cade, steps up.
Is right.
Domino will step up.
So will McKee.
Yeah, Nico's gonna crack his neck and step up.
Okay, you all step up to the side of the racetrack, and you can see hanging beneath each one of the giant snails. They have numbered saddles attached to them, and their racing numbers, names, and team colors are kind of emblazoned on the sides of these saddles. Off the sides of the snails are also colored flags that correspond with each one of their saddle colors and names. So each one of them has a distinct color associated with them. Let me see if I have a picture for you all. I believe I do. Yes. So this is kind of what it looks like, the area here.
Ooh.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it.
And I will go ahead and
Nice.
post in the chat. There are 8 snails in total, and you all take a moment to read all of their names that correspond with their numbers, and you all can pick which one you would like to ride.
Ooh, okay.
I want Wizzy Orange.
I will go 8, Queen's Majesty.
Let me get it in writing. 6.
See, orange. Dude, Breakneck sounds like a monster.
Or maybe it's a snail with a hurt neck.
Can't decide
so,
between quickly.
so for anyone that's watching while they
Keep
decide,
going.
the names they have to choose from are Shelly Moo, Nimblefoot, High Road, Quickleaf, Flower Flash, Wizzy Orange, Breakneck, and Queen's Majesty.
Breakneck better be breaking ankle.
All right, looks like we have our options. So Cave will be riding Wizzy Orange, Domino will be riding Queen's Majesty, McKeet will be taking Breakneck, Roma, Flower Flash, and Nico will be riding Nimblefoot.
Wizzy Orange goes. It's actually a misnomer. It goes so fast it makes you pee.
Come on.
It's like that sounds awful.
Sounds like a good ride.
All right, so you see, oops, wrong one here.
Yeah.
You see, Merton steps up and actually starts heading over towards Shelly Moo. So Merton will be number 1, and you all actually see sitting on top of High Road is a familiar individual. Eliwick Tumblestrum seems to already be waiting for you all, as she is mounted up on High Road.
Oh, let's go.
Number 3.
Yeah, Nico gives a wave as he begins taking the reins on Nimblefoot.
All right. All right, you guys all take a moment with the help of some witch-like hands and a few pixies finishing up scrubbing the sides of your snail's shells. Are all able to mount up and squirm up to the starting line. So the goblin comes back on, and you can already see that who is left here. Leave Quickleaf. Yes, number 4, Quickleaf doesn't have a rider, so Quickleaf is brought off to the side. There will only be 7 racers in this race. And the goblins come back on and say, all right, we have our contestants for the final race of the evening. Now remember, there's a few rules before we begin. No magic to enhance your abilities. The use of any magic on yourself or any of your fellow contestants will automatically disqualify you. Other than that, the first snail to go 480 feet along the racetrack will be the winner. Just a few laps. We might have some surprises in for you all around each bend. So good luck.
I was born ready.
Y'all are about to eat my dust.
Surprise, that sounds vaguely menacing.
Alrighty. So, let me.
I'm so glad you said that, Zert, because I was seconds away from casting Speak with Animals.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty good.
Doesn't mean you can't cheat. You just can't use magic.
True. I think this is somatic, though, so I think they'd know.
The goblin holds up a streamer from what it looks like. He says, "On your mark, get set, go!" And he pulls the streamer down, and you see bouts of glitter explode from random locations around the starting line, and your snails all take off.
Woo!
I'm going to keep track of how you all do. So what's going to happen is I need everyone to make an animal handling check at the beginning of each round. So go ahead and everyone do that for me.
All right. Okay, Cade, you're not allowed
Bro.
to anymore.
Oh my god.
What the
What
heck?
is this?
I have a +5.
Let's go.
And I rolled the
I
lower.
told you, Wizzy Orange was a misnomer.
Natty 19. Oh man, we're rolling some numbers right now.
You're about to piss your pants, Dan.
I am speed.
All right, Roma,
can't piss what's already wet.
Roma, you're taken a little off guard at how fast these are because everyone seems to blaze out of the. Well, actually, hold on. I need to make a roll for Merton and Eliwick. Let's see.
Yo.
Classic DM insert character.
Still kind of less
my
than
God.
Cade, though. I mean, if we're just doing math.
All right, so let's
Hey,
see what
Eliwick.
happens here.
What?
So everyone moves 80 feet. 80. However, those that got a 17 or above gain 20 extra feet. So
Whoever-
everyone except
me.
for Merton and Roma.
Eat grass. And yeah.
I do all the
Wait,
time.
say that again.
This
Uh,
is Zerk or Tyler's thing.
So we work. It's 80 plus 20. Is that the deal? We go 80 feet.
Yeah.
Plus,
So everyone is about 80, or everyone is 100 feet down the course, except for Roma and Merton, who are just 20 feet behind.
nice. Let's go.
So, at the beginning of the next round, I'm gonna roll.
480
See.
is the number we're looking to hit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
480 feet?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Go ahead and everyone make another animal handling check. One moment though, before clicking it. Alright, Brett,
Oh.
you rolled. Alright, hold on.
No, you said one moment. I can redo.
6 and a 20. Okay.
Fuck.
Alright, go ahead and roll those of you that have not rolled yet.
Okay.
No. So sad. I have a +5. I miss playing a rogue.
Yeah.
Alright. Eliwick has trouble this time. She only moves 60 feet. So does Roma. Nico, you move 70 feet. You did not make the check.
70 feet. Okay.
Let me make sure that's correct. These racing rules are complex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Makit, you get 70. You did not make it. 6 was you, Domino, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you move 60 because you failed pretty bad. Your animal
Wow.
handling, your snail is bucking you, and I believe Cade, you rolled above a 20, so you make it down another 80 feet. No, 100 feet. Yes, you're at 200 now. So right now, Cade is in the front, followed closely by Makit and Nico. Right behind them, Domino and Eliwick, then Roma, then Merton. However, I just need to loop this music, actually. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. Let's see. Number 2. Who's riding on number 2 right now?
I think I am. I think that's Nimblefoot, right?
Number 2 is Nimblefoot, yes.
That'd be me.
Alright, Nimblefoot, your snail seems bolstered by the cheering crowd, and you move an extra 20 feet.
Oh, let's go, Nimblefoot! Yes, Nimblefoot! Hooray!
Breakneck has disappointingly not broken any necks yet.
Alright, everyone, let me clear. Go again. Alright, everyone go ahead and roll another animal handling check.
Alright.
What you got?
Getting all these bad rolls out.
Haha!
What you got?
Wow. Okay.
Another series of decent rolls all around, though.
Alrighty, let's see. There doesn't seem to be any surprise, so Cade moves another 100 feet. Roma moves 70. Makit, you move 80. Nico, you move 80. Domino, you move 60. Okay, math. Eliwick moves 100.
Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. I need to use a calculator.
And Merton moves 100 as well.
Okay, we're good. I didn't actually need a calculator. Just needed to think
All right.
about it for a second.
Doesn't seem to be any surprise this round, so let's go ahead and go again.
I finally rolled less than 20, Zerk. Are you happy?
It's not making me mad.
Domino with a decent roll.
Alrighty. Starting from the top, Cade, you move 70. Makit, you roll, you move 70 as well. Nico and Domino, you are at 80. That's the wrong person.
You say 80?
Yep.
Okay.
So you should be at what, 350?
Sounds right.
Okay. Eliwick succeeds. She moves 80 as well. And Merton succeeds as well. Let's see if there's a surprise this round, though. There is. Another snail seems to be bolstered by the cheering of the crowd, and that is High Road, which I believe is Eliwick.
Oh no, Eliwick.
Eliwick moves
Peter.
an additional 20 feet.
She's been doing good. Nico looks up about how far is Eliwick in front or behind me?
In front of you, she is just in front of you, like 10 feet in front of you.
Ah, okay, yeah. Nico's kind of mushing the reins here.
All right, let's go again.
Showing the snail the stick, as it were.
Yes.
Whoa. How dare you?
Not actually, just showing. You just show him the stick. Ah, here we go.
What? No.
Did we get everyone? I think we're missing Domino.
For another animal handling.
Yeah. Alrighty. However, before we calculate how we are moving, let's see. Number 6. Wizzy. Is anyone on Wizzy?
Yeah, boy.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Cade, you hear a and you look down as you see your saddle
Uh-oh.
snaps and begins to come loose and falls off Wizzy as you are going breakneck speeds.
Oh no!
I
dude.
need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
He
You
was
get
so
trampled
hyped.
by a snail?
I'm sure you
Oh
could.
my gosh. Cade, you jump up and let the saddle fly off the back of Wizzy, and you clamp and you come back down, somehow finding grip to stay a hold of Wizzy. You do
Wow.
not fall off.
Wow.
Let's go.
All right.
I guess if that was gonna happen to anyone, Cade would be the person to handle it, you know?
All right, so let's see. People who really succeeded is Roma, Nico, and Eliwick and Domino.
Ugh, freaking Eliwick.
So Eliwick moves Domino, correct? Yep. Roma did really good, right? Yep. And Nico. Alright, you all moved up 400 feet. The race is coming to a close at this point. Eliwick is at 460. Let's see. Cade, you move 10 less, so 70.
I mean, I rode straight 100s for the first, like, 2/3 of the race.
Yeah, so Cade, you move 70.
Is there a tracker on the map that we can see, or is this?
No, I'm just doing it in on a note.
Okay, I didn't know. I had my. I still had the picture of the big snails up.
McKeet rolled pretty low. McKeet, so you only move 70, or sorry, 60. And Merton just made it, so he moves 80.
How much did the top people move there, Zerk?
100. So if you do really well, you move 20 more than usual, which is 80. If you do really bad, you move 20 less.
Whew. It's gonna be a photo finish here.
Yeah. So right now, Eliwick is 20 feet away from the finish line. Nico, you are 10 feet behind, with Cade right behind you. Domino, you're at 400. Everyone else is less than 400.
Nice.
So let's roll one more time.
Okay.
These pixies also. Let me clear this. All right, 2 sevens.
Ooh, I
No,
saw
no,
that
you
too. I
cleared
thought
it. You
there
cleared
was-
it. No, you cleared it.
I saw it.
Cleared it.
Oh wow, 7 for everyone else. I might as well roll now.
Get the Google Cache page.
All right. Yep.
Let's see. Is Bardic Inspiration magic? It isn't, is it? I guess I don't know.
You can always try
Okay.
if you want to risk it.
No, I don't want to risk it. Nico's just gonna kind of whisper in the ear of his majestic beast, and he's gonna, yeah, let's give it a shot. Yeah.
Is music magic? Is the power of music
yeah.
a magical effect?
Some would say that friendship is magic. Not me though.
Oh man, Eliwick and I are like so close.
However, we do have another saddle snap. These pixies did not do very well making sure the saddles were intact. Who is on Quickleaf?
Thank God. Not me.
I think actually Quickleaf was the one that was set aside, so
Yeah,
I'm going to roll again.
It's not even moving and it's saddle snaps.
Oh no! The Queen's Majesty!
Damn it.
Oh no.
Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, Domino, as your saddle snaps.
Heath.
I believe.
Oh no,
And
dude.
it takes you off guard.
Wipe out.
Domino, you wipe out, and the Queen's Majesty leaves you in the dust of a rapidly moving snail. Alright, so let's see who won here.
It was me. Rolled over the finish line.
Yeah, Nico throws a banana peel and uses all of his mushrooms.
So, who rolled the highest here?
That took me a second to understand.
He's been saving a golden mushroom for this particular moment, so...
Alright,
Cade uses the ghost and
so
snatches the golden mushroom.
the order of finishing is... Eliwick and Nico both tie for first,
Ooh, photo finish. Love it.
I believe. Let me make sure here.
I think 10
Makit
feet
and
behind
Roma. Makit gets second, I believe.
How?
her.
Wait, no, that's not right. Cade gets second.
Like what?
Okay.
Cade gets
Definitely
second.
did not roll well
Nice,
enough.
Cade.
Makit gets third. Roma. No, sorry. I'm all over the place here. So, Queen's Majesty without a rider gets third.
Oh yeah.
Makit gets fourth. Roma gets. Actually, Merton gets fifth. And Roma gets sixth.
Good, because Nico parlayed that he would get first and Roma would get last, so... All of his bets are coming up good.
All right.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Oops.
I did actually mean to put bets on myself, but I forgot. And I don't know that I can even put bets on myself in this thing, but...
Yeah, nobody bet with me, so I don't owe anyone money.
All right. So, being declared the winner, and actually the winners, Eliwick and Nico, you are both handed by the goblins each a potion of advantage.
Ooh. Yeah, Nico does a little heel click. His hooves like jump up in the air and he raises Eliwick's arm in the air. Gives a little bow.
And you're actually quite surprised, Roma, as the second goblin comes up to you with a consolation prize for coming in last.
Oh, nice.
He hands you a small magical wand with kind of a rainbow etched color to it. And I'll put this wand in your inventory, but basically you can use it to cast dancing lights.
That's cool.
And for your information, before I put it into your inventory, Nico, the potion of advantage, when you drink it, you gain advantage on one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw of your choice that you make within the next hour.
Nice. And that's like, is it one-time use, or you keep getting advantage on that thing for just for an hour?
It's on one roll.
One roll. Okay. Awesome. Yep. Very cool.
So you can drink it, and within the next hour, you can have advantage on any roll that you'd like, pretty much.
That's hype.
and you kind of take it and you swirl it around, and it looks like the potion itself takes the form of sparkling golden mist that moves and pours like water.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Yeah. Sick. Thank you kindly. And yeah, he stashes it away for later.
Alrighty. And at this point, the goblin yells, "And with that, the last race of the evening concludes. Make sure to head over to the big top quickly and get your seats, or you'll be up in the nosebleed rafters. Thank you, everyone, and good night." And as you can see, the pixies are already coming back out to help you down, as well as the witchlight hands to help you down. And as they do, they're kind of taking the snails away to potentially be put up for the night.
Quite the rider you are, Eliwick. The competition was fierce.
Eliwick kind of smiles at you and says, "Yes, well, it's one of my more favorite attractions of the carnival. Glad I could finally find a proper challenge to race against. So, props to you and your friends.
Yeah.
Even those that come in last." She kind of looks and smiles at you, Roma.
Domino, are you okay? That looked like your tumble there.
How dirty is his shirt?
Oh yeah, you forgot Domino definitely did do a tuck and tumble out of a moving car type of situation.
What would the racetrack look like when it's mud mixed with like a snail trail?
It's probably pretty gross.
I mean, you could tell it's not really mud. It's more like matted down grass,
Okay.
if you will. And it's not like there's a trough or 8 troughs going through the racetrack. You can tell that the snails, they spread out pretty evenly along the racetrack to where it's not gross looking.
Yeah, you'll see Domino kind of like straightening his stuff and like prestidigitationing like dirt off areas of his clothes and be like, "Well, I mean, it's not fun if you don't take a tumble every now and then."
True that. That's the spirit.
You know what you sign up for when you race snails. So.
Well, Eliwick, the lot of you, should we head to the big top and then speak to the others, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light afterward?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Eliwick, we'd be happy to walk with you if you'd like.
Oh yes, I'm certainly heading that way. Did you mention that you're going to be speaking with the owners afterwards?
Well, yeah, actually, they invited us to chat with them after our performance earlier in the evening.
Oh, yes. Well,
have you met the two of them before?
Personally, no, but I've just heard things. Just rather reclusive, but
I'm intrigued,
anyways.
Dear Eliwick. What have you heard?
Oh, just that, they like to keep to themselves, especially Mr. Witch. He's more of the business side of things, and Mr. Light's the entertaining side, as you saw from the extravaganza event that y'all took part in. But
I think we get that sense as well.
yes,
I guess we could do kind of a walk and talk at this point, if everybody's good with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Well, Eliwick, I guess like while we're walking over, we'll continue to chat up. Nico will continue to chat up Eliwick and kind of ask. The lot of you had mentioned Eliwick got your tickets pro bono. Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So she suggests. I mean, still unsure as to why, but
Yes,
I
that was.
certainly did not
Grateful.
buy my own tickets.
Mhm. Yeah, I thought everybody, other than the people that were working the carnival, she got them. That was quite kind of you, Eliwick. It's nice to see someone share the festivities in such a way.
Yes, well, I'm certainly not shy of coin, and just wanted to make sure those that needed to be in the carnival found their way inside without issue.
Needed to be in the carnival.
Well, yes, you seemed desperate for entertainment after your long journey, from what I could tell.
out of character, have we questioned Eliwick at all about like the disappearances, or is it like I can't remember?
No.
Is it a sore subject to bring it up to her? I don't remember her like involvement with everything.
I don't think we asked her about it. We were just curious as to why she got us into the carnival, but that was about it.
Yeah, we haven't talked to her about it at all. So was trying to get her angle. Yeah, I guess Zerk, when she responded and said that she was just trying to, spread the joy, basically. Could I sense any ulterior motive or anything when? Or
You can make an insight check.
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, 11.
And you're trying to sense what?
I'm trying to suss out if, cause she said, oh, I'm just trying to, or I'm just happy to help people get into the carnival. But I'm trying to get a sense if there was maybe something else there. I guess I wouldn't be able to point my finger on it, but if there was an ulterior reason that she was getting tickets for the group.
I mean, you can't tell, like, her facial expressions and the way she's speaking definitely isn't giving anything away in that sense, but you can still kind of infer that. I mean, none of you knew Eliwick prior to meeting her at the Feasting Orchard, and from what you all remember, none of you had interactions with her prior to the carnival either. So it's still a little weird that your tickets were purchased and already like stationed at the ticket booth before ever even meeting her. But you can't pry anything off of her demeanor.
Yeah.
Either she's really good at hiding it, or there's just nothing there to read.
Okay. Yeah, Nico will leave that thread for somebody else to pick up then. Yes, quite.
Well, did the carnival's coming to an end? Did y'all happen to get to all the attractions you wanted to?
Well, I know I did. Did a lot of you enjoy it as well?
Normally I focus so much on my performance that I don't take the time to go about and even though Beowyn insists, I normally just focus on practice, but I've really had a ball of a time. Mikit, you were saying something?
I'm just glad we got to beat the Cyclops eventually.
The Cyclops.
Nico kind of like looks back at his wagon as we kind of pass through the thoroughfare here.
Nico got a wagon.
Yeah. I've my little performing wagon. I suppose I didn't perform as much as I thought I would, but honestly, I had a blast. So all in all, and I made a bit of coin. So all things considered, a pretty successful Witchlight.
Absolutely, it's hard for the Witchlight to not be successful. It's quite the cheery place. Glad it was able to bring some cheer to all of you. Did you find anything interesting while perusing the carnival, or was it truly just a venture of pleasure for all of you?
Well, I mean, for my first time, I certainly enjoyed everything I saw. I mean, they're certainly making me sweat and waiting to tell me to the final hour of the carnival about the job, but I certainly enjoyed my time to peruse and experience the carnival in the meantime.
Yeah. Nico's eyes are kind of darting to the others to try to get a sense of, like, should we tell her kind of thing, you know?
Domino just kind of gives a shrug. The sensitive subject.
Mm-hmm.
Did we establish that Cade, you know Eliwick, right? Correct?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I can't
Let
remember.
me check the old memory banks.
I can't remember if we established if Eliwick is an employee of the carnival or not.
None of you knew Eliwick prior to meeting her in the feasting orchard.
Okay.
Beep bop DMs are.
Eliwick, I don't like to take gifts for free without something in exchange. So, can I give you anything in exchange for the ticket? I have a cupcake and a pretty wand. Look at this.
Oh, she kind of turns and looks to you, kind of surprised because you're one of the more quiet ones, at least around her, minus the whole custard eating contest fiasco.
Don't let me loose around the custard, dude.
She looks down at you, says, she looks at you. You take out do you take those two things out?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I hold up my cupcake and my wand.
She looks down at you. Well, actually, not really down at you. You guys are the same height. She looks over at you and she says, "Oh, no, darling. It's quite all right. I think they'll better serve you in the foreseeable future. I have no need of them, especially after getting this fancy potion after coming in such a close first place with old Nico here. I'll be quite fine. I'm quite happy with my spoils. I appreciate it though."
Cade is clenching his fists in the background, muttering about the snapped saddle.
Eliwick, well, there was one thing, and he kind of gestures to the group and kind of says, well, we couldn't help but notice that there was, that we'd heard whispers of strange happenings around the carnival. Well, missing people as of late, that sort of thing, mostly.
Yes. Just milling about. You can pick up on it here and there. I certainly picked up on it too, as well. Quite troublesome, if you ask me. But thankfully, and she looks down at her sides and kind of pats the side of her hips. Thankfully, I seem to have everything I came with, so that's good at least. Y'all lose anything?
Only momentary, but I think the concerns are more than just possessions, but actual individuals going.
Yeah, I heard about the halfling man going missing in the halls of illusions. It's strange, for sure. Yeah.
Seems like a series of things. Even, I guess, the person that held the job before me, the position I interviewed for, mysteriously went missing as well as some other folks that we've talked to.
Well, that one's new to me. I thought the prior card reader had left on their own accord, but from what went on tonight, I guess it wouldn't surprise me, though it still does.
I do an insights check.
Yeah.
A lot of people had no problem talking about how the card reader before me kind of disappeared, and it seemed to be common knowledge. So
He seems to be really sus. Too.
yeah, I'm pretty sus about her whole.
I vote Ellie.
Yeah, I Eldritch
She
Blast.
lived a good life.
Yeah.
You Eldritch Blast.
Oh
my gosh.
Magic missile, Eldritch beam.
I transcend classes and I just go back to my roots.
Oh my god, that's fucking funny.
All right, what did I say I was doing? Insight.
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
Bad.
Man, the
Heard.
double rolls tonight are blowing my mind.
I know. Insane.
Why? It's
I rolled
50%
a
chance
2.
to happen.
Like I had a +6 and it's an 8.
Wow.
You
I lucky
catch her. You can if you want. Before I tell you the
I
result.
feel like this is an important roll. Yeah, I'm gonna use my last lucky on it.
Okay.
Wait, is it my last? Yeah, I have one more. All right, re-rolling that.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So
I don't
10.
know shit.
You actually catch her in a rare moment of weakness in terms of her demeanor, and you do sense something about her. Something behind her eyes seems like she knows a little bit more than she's letting on in terms of not specifically the card reader thing, but the disappearances as a whole. You do sense that it legitimately comes from a place of concern, but she is indeed not potentially sharing all the information she knows with you.
Elliewood, did you lose someone?
No, not at all. Why? Why do you ask?
And maybe it's just second nature to my career path and kind of just reading what the atmosphere and the real world around us has to tell. But I don't know. So like, forgive me. I mean no ill will about it, but something seems a little off about this topic. It seems like we struck a sore spot with this one.
Well, it's a sore spot when it comes to the carnival as a whole. I mean, I didn't lose anyone, truthfully. I didn't lose anyone or anything.
Apologies, that might have been the poor words for it. I mean, it seems to be a little more personal for you.
It's just more personal in the sense that it shouldn't be happening, especially in a place like this. You know, someplace that's meant for entertainment and cheer and joy and just having fun, being mired down by someone or something ruining it, albeit in the background and not the foreground, but those of us observant enough can see it. It's just troublesome. I'm not sure the extent of it or the nature of it, but with you speaking to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light after the crowning and all, then I'm sure you can find more information about it with them, if you're savvy enough about it.
Do
Remember,
you know anything about it?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I just know that things and people, like you say, have been going missing. There are some unsavory folk about that a couple individuals have reported seeing. They're usually brushed off, but management's always involved in some way or fashion. So someone that doesn't choose to be blind to the situation can quickly deduce that something's going on. But again, I think y'all are right where you need to be. I wanted you here, and just remember that Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are pretty protective of their carnival, and if it's information you're looking for from them, then definitely go about it in a delicate manner.
If there's anything we are, it's delicate, right, Roma?
You hear Roma cracker knuckles.
Yeah, that's why I bring it up.
Are Mr. Witch and Mr. Light dangerous? Who?
Uh, no, I've never seen them be hostile to anyone before, but I'm sure anyone pushed onto the brink or into a corner could be dangerous. Yeah. It's best. She kind of points to her temple and taps on it. It's like, best to always keep your options open. That's what I've learned in this life. Don't ever take anything at face value.
Out of character, we do still know a little bit about the Hourglass Coven, but I don't know if it's worth bringing up to Eliwick. It's kind of like it's a really serious thing that not a lot of people know about, so I'm not sure if it would be worth bringing up to her or not.
Yeah. I think Nico would keep it close to the chest, but I guess I'd leave it up to what you think McKeat would do.
Yeah, personally, I'm a little wary of Eliwick's intentions with us and with the carnival.
That's kind of what I'm feeling too.
I don't know. She got you your tickets for free.
Yeah, we don't know why. She won't tell us why. And
well, that's a nice thing to do.
I mean, I guess.
I do. I guess while we're like kind of approaching the big top here, Nico does kind of want to keep an eye out, and he's kind of like looking around, and he's just kind of keeping an eye out to see if he catches a glimpse of Ween Sundapple while they're
Sure.
going in.
Make a perception check.
Ouch! Ooh, sorry, I hit my knee on the couch. Ow. That hurt. Oh man.
Don't do that.
Nico yells in auto tune.
Wow, you have enough room in that wagon to put a couch?
He did say it was a performing wagon.
That's right.
17. You look around, and you all are approaching the main opening in front of the big top, kind of in the center of the carnival at this point. And as you do, you all do see a barrage of fireworks shoot into the air above the big top. And Eliwick goes, "Oh well, it looks like it's time. We should probably head in. We're wanting to get seats are already half decent." So she turns around and heads in. You turn and kind of scan the crowd. You do not see the halfling woman that you came to know as Ween Sundapple anywhere in the crowd.
Yeah, figured that might be the case, but yeah, he just wants to keep an eye out for her as we file into the tent and like people are getting seated and stuff. But
yeah, and there's definitely a much higher presence of Witchlight hands around the big top now, as pretty much everyone at this point. I mean, this is the last event of the carnival, so almost everyone at the carnival is flooding into the big top, and they're just kind of helping moving the crowd along and making sure there's no like congestion to some extent. So, but you guys you're standing in front of the big top. Eliwick has headed in.
Okay. You guys all game to head in?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, you're all in for a real treat.
Yeah, Nico clasps his hands together and kind of rubs them together. I cannot wait. And yeah, he goes ahead and pops in. We'll have the best seats in the house.
Alrighty. So, you all head into the big top, and it's very much the same setup as before. People are flooding into the circular rafters not rafters, but like stands that kind of circle around the main floor of the big top. It's already pretty packed in here, and you guys do quickly follow in after Eliwick. Somehow she works her magic and finds a string of 7 seats that's perfect for you all, her and Merton, to sit down in, unsegmented or split up. You all look down and you see, kind of standing off to the side, kind of a little bit in the darkness of far reaches of the big top ground floor, you see Durlagron, the displacer beast with the butterfly wings, kind of standing, or more sitting, towards the back of the tent, around the outskirts of the ground floor. And you all see next to him another individual that everyone except, that will bear way of saying is no one but Cade has seen before. You see a man that is has the same skin tone as Mr. Light, this kind of dark grayish skin tone. He has long pointed ears. He's wearing a black top hat with a red ribbon pulled around it, and there's a rose right on the front of it, kind of clasped to the front. He seems to be wearing this long vest that has this like brown patchworked pattern. Let me see if I can show y'all a picture of him. He is kind of carrying a cane, and he's just wearing this tan suit with kind of a darker brown vest underneath it that has like gold buttons, buttoned from top to bottom. Underneath that, you can see a little bit of a white undershirt peeking out with a black tie kind of going down and underneath the underlying vest. And on the front, on his front right of his suit, he has another large rose-like flower emblazoned on his chest, a much larger version than the one that is on his top hat. This individual.
Okay.
Kind of just standing next to Durlagron in the back, and
Ringtopius.
Yes, the conductor from Thomas the Train.
standing on the other side of Durlagron from this individual is, it kind of makes a few of y'all's stomachs sink a little bit, is you see Candlefoot, or quote Candlefoot, standing to the right of Durlagron at the far end of the big top, just kind of trying to keep quiet, keep to himself. Doesn't seem to be doing much at the moment. But you do see he is holding what looks like a small wooden box, about 2 feet in length, 1 foot wide. Has a little bit of depth to it. Looks like this rich red, kind of like redwood, like almost like a wooden lockbox that has a latch pulled over it. It doesn't seem to be locked with any exterior lock, but he's just holding it in front of him with the opening facing away from him towards the main big top kind of stage. And at some point, a few clowns come out onto the main stage with Mr. Light, who introduces himself and says, "Welcome everyone to the final event of the Witchlight Carnival, the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch. Now, I know everyone's been having a fantastic time, and the mood out there has certainly supported that. So who here is ready to find out who this evening's monarch will be?" And at this point, the crowd just erupts in applause, people jumping up and down. You can see that kind of lining the railing around, pretty much as close as they can be without being on the actual main performance stage, are just dozens of children in outfits kind of excitedly jumping up and down. The people around you all stand up and applaud and cheer, and kind of Eliwick does the same, though she is not like as doing it as crazily as everyone else. She just kind of stands and lends her applause to the crowd.
Yeah, Nico's giving big wingspan like applause, just whistling and hooting.
Right. So, at this point, Mr. Light goes, "All right, it seems you're ready. Now, I know that many of you probably don't know how this works, but this," and he lifts his hand up above his head, and you've seen him carry this object before that he's holding up with his hands. It's this cane-like, it's almost like a rod. It seems to be made of like this golden metal-like material, and it has almost like wings of metal that resemble butterfly wings extending out from it in a very like decorative way. It's almost like a rod of some sort. He says, "This, the Witchlight vein, will choose the Monarch for the evening. When I release its magic, it will bend and weave its way through the crowd until finding the one individual who has contributed the most to the carnival this evening. The individual that embodies the happiness and joy of the carnival themselves. I wonder who it will be this evening. Mr. Witch would tell you that my guess is almost never right, but the vein's judgment is always sound and will lead us to the one who truly deserves it."
I'm gonna nudge Romo with my elbow and be like, "Talking about you."
If this snake staff comes near me, I'm going to punch it.
Beowyn is going as bananas as a pixie can. It's me! Oh, it's Elle! Like, she's almost unintelligible.
I agree. I believe it's Beowyn too.
Nico's nudging Makit because, and he kind of gives her a nod like, could be you.
Yeah.
I think I did too poorly in the snail race.
Eliwick kind of, after when hearing you say that, kind of leans forward a little bit because you're not. Nico's kind of sitting in between you and her, and she says, "Well, it's not necessarily about whether you won or lost at the Witchlight Carnival. It's more about how you walk away from victory or defeat, with a smile on your face or a frown. And for all we know, could be Nico here. He's been quite the cheerful individual, I hear, throughout the evening."
Nico's ears give a little like flitter.
Tell me! Beowyn is like hanging off of Cade's braid, like feet planted in his shoulder blades, like just truly going nuts.
Like a little Jerry Mouse or something.
All right, it seems like we have some individuals in the crowd that cannot wait any longer. Without further ado, I present to you the Witchlight Monarch! And you see Mr. Light pull the vein down, kind of in front of his chest, and as he does, he pulls his other hand onto the vein, and you see he kind of pulses for a moment, and you see as the vein begins to glow with this golden hue, and you see, starting from its bottom to its top, this energy begins to emanate over the rod, and as it reaches the top of the rod, it pulls away from the vein in this spinning thread of golden light that arcs throughout the air in a snake-like pattern, like kind of dipping and weaving gracefully through the air, doing loop-de-loops and barrel rolls, before eventually gently dipping down towards the ground and heading towards the crowd. And you all hear there's this hush that comes over the crowd. The only loud noises you can hear are from the individuals that are standing up in the entrance of the big top. There wasn't enough room for everyone to get in. You can see that there's a crowd of people standing in between the pews and out of the big top that are trying to see where the spinning golden light is going. And everyone hushes down for a moment as it heads towards the front of the crowd, and there's a every time it bends and weaves and heads towards a particular group of people, you always hear hushed breath and faint gasps as the anticipation of who is chosen is kind of surmounting over the crowd. Let's see. You see it bend and weave through a couple rows of individuals, and for a few of you, perhaps, it's very much for those of you that don't like attention much, it's very much that dreaded feeling of someone who's giving a performance that clearly needs participation from the crowd, slowly milling their way towards where you're sitting. And for a few of you, it's quite exciting. Baywin, again, just going absolutely ballistic, even more so, Cade, as the light gets closer and closer. The light moves up more and more rows, getting closer and closer to where you all are sitting. Let's see. You see as the golden light turns away from all of you, heads into a different towards a different few stands of individuals, and that side of the big top begins to gasp, but it quickly, in a speed much faster than you've seen it move since it reached the crowd, arcs back towards all of you before coming up towards your row. And it enters your row on the far side of all of you, towards the side closest to Eliwick, and it almost glides above the laps of everyone that's sitting here, just a few inches above you, and it reaches Eliwick and slows, and then moves to Nico, and then to Makit, and then finally it passes all of you until it stops on the individual sitting at the end of your group. And as it does, it explodes into this large burst of golden light, and you look up as golden glitter rains down on the individual that the Witchlight Vein has chosen to be the Witchlight Monarch. This light rains down on Roma Papalamarov.
See, Roma? I told you. Didn't have a doubt. 1 second.
Roma!
Roma's got her arms crossed, and she's deeply frowning.
The crowd stands and erupts in cheers and laughter, and everyone around you is just all looking at you. The sound is almost deafening, and this continues on for a good 30 to 45 seconds where people just cannot contain themselves before people eventually calm down a little bit, and you all hear Mr. Light's booming voice. It seems like our monarch has been chosen for the evening. Please, little lady, please join me on stage down here.
Yeah.
Can a few of our hands please help her come down? And you see a few Witchlight hands kind of maneuver their way through the crowd and head towards you, Roma.
Nico's clapping like a seal and turning to everybody else in the stands. I know her! I know Roma!
Oh my gosh.
How close are the hands? Are they like coming up?
They're coming up, but like they quickly reach you, and the closest one, who seems to be a woman dressed as kind of a butterfly, reaches down and says, "Would you like to come down with me, young lady? What's your name?"
My name is Roma, and if you touch me, I'm going to slap your hands away.
Who am I sitting next to, Zerk?
You're sitting next to Cade and Makit.
I'm gonna lean over to Cade and be like, you know, if you really think about it, she does embody the kind of vibe that's been going on with people and everything. I guess it's kind of.
Please, come down, Monarch. It's time for your crowning.
Go, Roma, go.
You can do it.
Roma stands up, and she's still,
Think
still
of
not
the
smiling.
prizes.
She brushes all this glitter off of her, and then she starts walking down the bleachers, almost in like a like a stalking stomp, like towards Mr. Light.
All right, you reach the edge of the railing, and the children kind of part for you, and the Witchlight Monarch, or the Witchlight hands that are following you, kind of lift it up so you can pass through, and you're gonna go up to Mr. Light.
Yeah, I still have my arms crossed.
Sure. You approach Mr. Light, and you see at this point, as you approach, Mr. Witch does come out of the dark far corner of the big top, and takes the box from Candlefoot and kind of approaches you and Mr. Light with the box. And Mr. Light goes, "Well, this is so exciting! Please, Monarch, please tell us all your name."
Well, that's so intrusive of you to ask of me. Hello, my name is Domino.
Domino, what a fantastic name, Domino! And Domino, please tell me, what has been your favorite attraction for the evening?
Oh, I really like the Halls of Illusion. I seem to disappear in there.
Oh,
I felt like I went missing.
yes, the Halls of Illusion, for anyone that has not been, is a hall of mysterious magics where you can see your past, present, and future all in one go. It's quite magnificent. What a great choice, Domino. What a great choice. But, of course, enough dilly-dallying. It's time for the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch. Monarch, would you like to share any words before your crowning?
Oh, I would
Any
just
shout-outs to any friends or family you have here with you?
yes, I would like to give a shout out to my best friend, Makit. Everybody, give it up for Makit, the cat with the golden eyes.
Makit, everybody, please, a rousing applause for Makit, everyone! And everyone just stands up once again, and
It's like, oh my god!
all right, well, with that, Mr. Witch here will crown you for the evening. Please, Mr. Witch, please do us the honors. And you see Mr. Witch approach and hand Mr. Light the box and slowly unlatch the box. And as the box opens, you all see a flutter of golden butterflies out of the box in a gust above you. And you see Mr. Witch reach down into the box and pull out what seems to be a small golden crown that is shaped in the fashion of butterflies and streamers. And it is emblazoned with what look like golden hued gems all around it, and it just sparkles with a light that is truly magnificent. And as he lifts it up and hovers it above your head, you see it kind of like shrink a little bit to become the perfect size for your head as he delicately places it down, and you feel it touch the top of your head, Roma. And for as inconvenient as this situation is for you, Roma, you do feel a sense of warmth kind of emanate through your body as the crown touches your head, and you can't help but maybe turn that internal frown a little bit upside down, as it's hard to resist the feeling of being crowned the Witchlight Monarch for a moment. And as he does, and he lets go of it, he kind of looks you in the eyes, Mr. Witch, and says, he kind of does a short bow to you and kind of tips his hat and says, "It is a pleasure, Monarch." And he steps back, and Mr. Light pats you on the back and moves you forward one step, and he goes, "Everyone! Your Monarch for the evening! Domino!"
I stand up and take a bow in the bleachers.
Not many people are paying attention to you because they are all standing up and just applauding for this, but you think it's quite funny. Nevertheless.
Roma reaches into her scars and whips out her wand she got from the snail racing, and I use it to cast dancing lights like up in the air.
Oh,
Nice.
cast dancing lights, and you actually see as you cast dancing lights, a few Witchlight hands are carting out Palasha in her large ornate glass bowl from behind a curtain, and she is surrounded in this almost like cloud of pixies that are flashing with all different colored lights and with their small outfits. And you see and you begin to hear Palasha begin to sing her very enchanting tune that you've heard a couple times before, and everyone seems very taken aback and begins to sway a little bit as the applause just continue to roar, and says, "Everyone, thank you so much for attending with all of my heart the Witchlight Carnival for the evening. That concludes our last timed event for the evening, but please feel free to stick around and enjoy the sights and festivities until the break of dawn, at which point, unfortunately, we will have to wind down and prepare for our journey to our next location. But until then, continue to enjoy yourself, indulge, and just have a good time." I hope that you all have had a fantastic time, and I could speak for Mr. Witch here. Both of us thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Have a fantastic evening! And he kind of waves away the crowd, and they all erupt with one more rousing applause. And you can see Mr. Witch and Mr. Light leave you actually with the crown. And they take the box, and the crowd, after a few moments of frenzied applause, begins to die down a little bit and disperse.
Just out of curiosity, Nico looks around. Is Candlefoot, like, where did he go while they did all of the announcements and stuff?
Candlefoot remained by Durlagron's side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, does he look like nervous at all, or like anything like that, or is he just kind of hanging out?
Just maintaining his somber, composure.
Okay.
Maybe you can tell he's tapping one of his feet up and down a little bit, so maybe there's a little bit of some nerves there, but okay. For the most part, just keeping to himself.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, Nico will redirect his focus back onto Roma and just continue to cheer and all that. So.
Yes, and at this point, a pair of Witchlight hands come onto the stage towards you, Roma, now that you're standing alone, and they both go, congratulations, Monarch! But would you like us to escort you off the stage?
Oh yes, please. Here, take my hand.
Oh, by all means. And they reach down, and one of them grabs your hand.
I slap it.
Oh, quite silly, I forgot.
Yes.
They just kind of smile. Please,
Never
we'll make
touch
sure
the
you don't
Monarch.
I apologize. We'll make sure you don't get trampled on your way out.
I walk back to the group. When I get halfway there, I'm gonna take the crown off.
Okay. As you take it off, it disappears.
It what?
Sorry, you want to be
Disappears.
salty?
That's too funny. It just left. It just vamped out.
Sorry, dude. It's like Mjolnir. You're not worthy anymore.
You took it off, bro.
Roma stops when the crown disappears.
Some of the
Start sobbing.
at this point. At this point, the hands have returned you to your group, but they are still next to you.
Do I pick the crown up do I pick up the real crown at a later date? Was that a display crown?
Oh, are you asking the hands?
Yeah.
Oh, they're like, oh, yeah, it's more of a symbolic thing. You don't get, I guess, an actual crown to keep. But you're the Witchlight Monarch. Like, everybody loves the Witchlight Monarch.
Well, I don't get a new ticket. I don't get a monetary compensation.
Oh, of course. The Witchlight Monarch doesn't need tickets to ride any of the rides if you want to go catch some at the last minute.
Oh, good.
But you're basically royalty here now, Domino.
Oh. Nice. Don't look me in the eyes. Look down. Don't look at me.
Oh, well, you're just so funny, Domino. Are these your friends?
Yes, these are my acquaintances and one friend.
Oh, okay. Well, you have a fantastic night, Domino. Again, congratulations on being crowned the Witchlight Monarch.
Oh, thank you. I think I've been dreaming about this my whole life.
As they say that, they kind of the two hands kind of like give you a smirk and kind of look at each other and like raise their eyebrows, and they're just like, yes, and they head off.
Okay, never mind.
Well, that was disappointing. I'm going to be honest with you. I was going to sell the crown. I was going to flip it.
That seems like a good, a good path. I mean, it only comes around how often? Like, that thing's got to be rare.
We still have to meet with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, and I will negotiate a second crown.
Well, congratulations, Roma. Well deserved.
Oh, thank you. I just feel so special. I feel seen in the worst way.
So it didn't seem like you were a big enough grump to avoid such a fate, there, Roma, or should I say Domino? Eliwick kind of chimes in. Maybe your performance at the custody contest really impressed the Witchlight vein.
I did. You were there, right, Ali? You saw. I dominated.
I saw it all.
In fact, I could go for some more right now. Just kidding.
You certainly do know how to put down some custard.
What does it? That had better be a compliment, Nico. You're talking to the Witchlight Monarch right now.
It's a very unique trait to have, defining, if I may say so.
By your own admission, Roma, Domino is the Witchlight Monarch.
It's true. I mean, who's to blame them?
Wait, no.
I mean, look.
Wait,
Years down the line, when I'm working here, and people will come up to me and be like, "Didn't you win the Monarch crown?" And I'll be like, Yes, I did. Thank you.
Oh God, I didn't even think of that.
So,
No,
thank you. I appreciate any publicity.
I thought I'd have the crown to show that I was the one who won.
I mean, it'll bring in good business. So, yeah, my thanks.
Well, dear Monarch, and the Monarch, Nico looks over at Domino and Roma. Allow me to be your humble court jester, then. And he kind of, like, skips along as we, start to, leave the tent.
Sure.
Yeah, we do still need to talk to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
Oh, right.
I'd be curious if... Well, I guess we can just go around to their trailer or whatever and talk to them.
Yeah, I guess, did they go, like, backstage or something? Like, is there a... Maybe we can go that way?
They exited in the far back of the big top, but you all know from going around in the gondola swings that the staff area is on the direct other side, like towards the back of the big top.
So that'd be easy to find, I guess. We don't need to...
Okay. Yeah, well, as long as no hands stop us, maybe we try through the backstage way rather than going around. Probably be faster with the crowd and everything.
Yeah, I'd be fine with trying to catch up through the backstage too.
And if anybody gives a scuff, well, you are the Monarch. Domino.
It's true. Oh, yes, we have two monarchs. We have a dual arc.
Mm-hmm.
It is no longer a monarch.
Yeah.
Well, shall we try to go at the back then?
After you. Monarch, King and Queen. Monarch, Guillotine. And he'll like start heading that way.
Well, that sounds a little dangerous.
Yes,
I
I
don't
have
like
weaknesses
that
to guillotines.
As you head down towards the floor stage of the big top, a group of younger individuals, fairgoers, and children all rush towards you, Roma, and go, Monarch, sign my butterfly wings, sign my butterfly wings, sign our butterfly wings. And there's just a paparazzi throng of young children and adults who want your signature on various items ranging from their tickets to their butterfly wings to parts of their outfits.
Oh goodness! Oh please! Oh God! And Roma's like, Roma's like really blushing. Who has a pen? Please, give me a pen, please.
Beowyn flies a nice big pen right into your hand.
Okay. I'll start scribbling Roma on everything.
All right, you sign Roma on all these things.
Yeah. She's too flustered right now to remember.
A couple of them like run off excitedly, and there's one of them that takes a look at the signature. Goes, Rama, I thought your name was Domino.
No, I am the artist formerly known as Domino.
I am Domino.
Tell all your friends. I've
Hmm.
reinvented myself.
Make a persuasion check.
I was going to say. You see, Domino
No.
changed their name once they became Monarch. It's sort of like a prerogative of royalty.
Yeah, how do these
Okay,
children
but just in case, sign it Domino too.
fare? Okay. I do Domino in like really bad signature. It looks like a
Hey!
prescription.
Thank you, Monarch. And they head off.
Anything for my biggest fans. Is this what being famous feels like?
Wow. Yeah.
You'll get used to it.
You do indeed.
You
I could get used to this.
you head down to the stage edge, and you're stopped by a few witchlight hands that are busy cleaning up. And they go, sorry, only staff allowed onto the stage and out back. The exit's up there. And they kind of point up to where everyone's exiting.
Excuse me, does the Witchlight Monarch not even count as staff?
Well,
What is your name?
Dexon.
Axon, I will remember
Dexon.
that. Dexon?
Yeah.
I will remember that. I think I have some people to to let know that Dexon, the stagehand, will not even allow the Monarch to the staff area.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I could do about that. You're just gonna have to. And he's interrupted by another deeper voice going like, "Hold on, I got them. They're with me." And you see Burley come around, a large individual that gave you the invitation to meet management.
Burley,
Yes.
my boy.
Get back to what you were doing. Keep cleaning up. And Dexon and the other Witchlight hand nod and get back to their business. He says, the big, not ogre. What is he? I can't remember.
Cyclops?
I thought he
No.
was like a half ogre or something.
Oh, man. What
Let's
is he?
see. I wrote him down somewhere.
What are you looking for?
I forget what race Burley is.
I didn't
Bu-
write Burley's race. I only wrote Burley is very smart.
Burley isn't the bugbear?
He's a bugbear. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
He
Really,
goes,
the bugbear.
kind of crosses his arms and
Bugbear.
goes, "Can I help you?"
Yes, I would like to go speak with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light to, Wait, Burley said that?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we are on our way to meet Mr. Witch and Mr. Light finally.
Kind of pulls out a pocket watch from one of his overall pockets, takes a look at it. Pretty rusted silver pocket watch. You can kind of tell that the glass on it's kind of cracked and broken. He goes, closes it, he goes, "You really waited till the last minute, huh?"
Literally. Quite literally.
Yes, literally. Would not all of us have such beautiful watches, Burley?
Yeah, well, it's probably best we go out back to get to the staff area. It's going to take you 15 minutes to get out with a crowd like that. It's warm in the entrance. He kind of points up to the top, and you guys do see that it's very much a crowded movie theater situation where people are trying to get out. So,
Yeah, we'll follow your lead, Burley.
all right. He reaches down and pulls up the kind of the barrier. He says, "Come on in. Just follow me, and get you to see Mr. Witch and Mr. Light ASAP before the carnival closes."
Did anybody want to maybe chat Burley up before we go in? I know we talked about that, I think, last time. Potentially asking.
Domino's starting to be a little more low key at this point
Yeah.
because I don't want to jeopardize the job.
Sure.
My one note about Burley was that he's really
Sorry.
torn up about his brother, so it might not be the best to ask about it.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Was his brother someone that went missing?
Mhm.
Yeah, I wrote
Okay.
he's very sad explicitly. Like somebody told us he was really upset about it.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
good. That's good. I was worried Burley might be like the muscle for Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, but if they're behind the disappearance, if they have anything to do with the disappearances, he'll probably help us.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Well, we heard that they made some kind of deal with
The
what's her
Hourglass
name?
Coven.
Yeah, Hourglass Coven.
Yeah,
It's so
That's what we got.
That's-
From the unicorn.
I kind of understood that like the Hourglass Coven was like taking their ounce of blood for whatever
Yeah.
deal they made,
Mhm.
Yeah, but I don't think
just kind of nabbing people.
the staff know about that deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Right.
Either way, we're about to find out because Roma has a lot of conflicting emotions right now about being the monarch, but
Right. Yeah.
I'm also really
Nico's gonna cast message under his breath and say, perhaps after he's gonna kind of whisper to himself, um, perhaps we ask Burley about what we know after we're finished with the two of them. He kind of just like passes that on to Domino.
Not knowing if I can reply or not,
Alright.
I will just look at him and
You
nod.
specifically can.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, you can. You can reply in a whisper that only I can hear. If you wanted to. You don't have to, though.
Yeah, Dominic will reply. I'm hesitant to risk causing a bigger scene with him here, especially if it might be personal to him. I'm not sure it'll be the best option to talk to him now.
Yeah. You see,
Maybe minor questions, if anything.
You see Nico just nod to himself.
Okay. You guys, you all follow Burley towards the dark back section of the big top, and he leads you past a curtain into a smaller tent that adjoins the larger big top tent in the back. It's got several supplies, several performance pieces, like a lot of the tools and things that a lot of the actors used in their performances in the Big Top Extravaganza. You all head through there, and he pulls back another curtain that exposes the exterior of the Big Top, but on the backside. And what you see is a tangled wall of thorns surrounding a cluster of wagons lit by lanterns. The caravan is barely visible through the thicket. So you basically see a tall wall of shrubbery that is about, from what you can tell, 10 feet high. And it's just draped and just covered in these nasty, long-looking thorns to clearly prevent people from getting in or out that shouldn't be. And you see Burley step up to it and wave his hand, and you see the wall of thorns begin to move and make almost like a doorway, a gap for which you all can walk through. And he kind of ducks a little bit because he's a little taller, and like he walks through, and on the other side you can already see the actual bodies of the caravan wagons. And he kind of motions you all and says, "Come on."
Yeah, Nico he has to kind of like duck his horns down a bit just so nothing catches any bramble, but he ducks his head and enters.
Okay. The rest of you follow?
Yeah, there's room for the rest of us, was my
Yeah,
question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So you all head in, and he leads you to a circle of wagons. And leaning against a particular wagon is an aging clown with a painted grin. He puffs on a bubble pipe and glares at you as Burley, ignoring this other clown, opens the back door to one of these wagons and ushers you inside. This other clown looks like this.
Oh my gosh.
my kind of people.
That's right.
Literally human Roma.
I wish I had mask of many
All right.
faces.
Relax, Kate.
And this individual's kind of, it's the first time you've really been glared at the carnival.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not really anyone else here. There's a few witchlight hands a little bit far away inside of this thicket, like tending to the caravans, and there's one of them tending to the fire that's in the center of this circle of wagons. But this individual just kind of watches you as and he's leaning against the wagon that Burley headed around the back to and opened up a door to, and is now ushering you inside.
Does he look armed or anything?
You can make a perception check.
Sure. 14?
You don't see, he's not like open carrying any weapons.
Okay. It's nothing holstered that I can see immediately.
No.
Okay. Yeah, Nico will just give him a little nod and kind of tip his head and then avert his eyes and just look at the ground as he moves forward.
Sure. Unless anybody else wants to do anything, you guys head around towards the back of this wagon, towards this door. And who's in the front? You, Nico?
Actually, Nico would probably let the Monarch go first, because I assume that she was kind of like leading the marching order.
Do you want to be first, Roma?
Yeah, I'll be first. I am the Monarch.
Okay. Then you head around, and you're the first to see that immediately. I mean, it's a wagon. It's not a huge space on the inside, so it's not like a dark room you're being ushered into. As you turn around the back of the wagon, you see, as you peer inside, you see two individuals inside. Very clearly, Mr. Witch, who is kind of standing up at the back of the wagon, and Mr. Light, who's sitting down in a chair closer to the door that was just opened. And you get, you see this.
Ooh, it's a good picture.
That looks
I do
nice.
not like- Not at all.
So as you approach and you kind of pause for a moment as you see this, Mr. Light turns to you and goes, "Oh, please come in. It is the delight to see you all again. Our fantastic extravaganza performers and our Monarch in one visit. What a fantastic visit." I am, of course, Mr. Light, and this is my associate, Mr. Witch, who I do not believe you've had the pleasure of meeting in person. Please come in. Come in.
Okay, everybody squeeze in. This is going to be a tight with.
Apologies for dallying. We couldn't help but enjoy the many festivities the Witchlight has to offer this evening, and it ended up taking more of our time than we expected.
Absolutely. It's not uncommon to lose track of time. If you get too caught up with one thing at the carnival, then you might not have enough time for another. It's quite it's a great problem to have. Is what I always say.
Indeed.
It seems easy to lose track of many things at the carnival, Mr. Witch.
Oh my god.
And as you all head in, it's definitely not a packed sardine situation. It's almost a little off-putting. Like, as each of you step into the wagon, the interior size of the wagon seems to almost grow in size. The wagon doesn't get any bigger for those of you that are watching it, but like for those of you that are in the back of the group, it very much feels like a 10 clowns getting out of a small clown car type situation. You're stepping into a space that your eyes can't understand, right? So kind of like the Harry Potter mansion in a tent type thing.
Uh-huh.
If you catch my drift.
Mm-hmm. Oh, quite roomy.
Yes. So who's in the back of the group?
Probably Domino.
Domino and
Mickey is
McKee.
also not into this.
Okay.
Not that scene she just saw.
Come on, you two. Just come in so we can close the door and have a nice conversation.
Yeah, I'll shuffle towards the back.
Yeah, Mickey will just look up at Domino like, oh my gosh, and then she'll just follow him in.
All right. Burley, after the last one of you steps in, shuts the door from behind you. And you all sit in a nice, dimly lit wagon with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. At which point, Mr. Light begins. I must know what drew all of you to the carnival this year. I mean, you've seen. This, and he kind of holds up the Witchlight vein. I mean, as you can tell, this vein of mine can pick up on every nuance and emotion of the carnival, and it's gotten quite a liking to you, as you all have certainly bolstered the mood of the carnival this evening. And I would first off like to very much thank you. Everyone seemed to have a much grander time at the carnival than if you hadn't decided to make the trip this year.
I can't help but come and make a little coin, and I appreciate the venue to do so. You've been most generous hosts. You see, that was my wagon parked out in front of the big top, the Wild Rose.
Absolutely, we like indulging all forms of traveling performers here at the Witchlight Carnival. We're not sticklers on those that are able to come and perform and perhaps make a little bit of coin off of their performances. So,
very gracious, very gracious.
And what about the rest of you?
I can admit, I don't often stray from my practice area, but something about this group and the talents therein sort of just drew me out. And as I told someone earlier, maybe Beowin, but I've had the grandest time. I can't remember the last time that I had this sort of fun.
At this point, Mr. Witch actually pipes up and kind of says, yes, we had heard that Mr. Roslov had instructed you to accompany this group, and it seems like you've done the carnival a justice, Mr. Kelsang, so I thank you for that.
Cade returns with a small bow from the waist. Not like a full formal, but an acknowledgement.
Do we get any sense that, like, Mr. Witch in particular, because he was pretty quiet when we entered, does he seem to be just indulging us, or, like, or kind of impatient at all, or does he seem to enjoy the fact that we've stopped by, you know?
Vibe check.
Vibe check.
Yeah, make another insight check.
Okay. Ooh, 20.
Yeah, from what you can tell, Mr. Witch just has a less emotional demeanor than Mr. Light.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you don't get the vibe that he's unhappy that you're there.
Okay.
He very much seems like the business side of the carnival, whereas Mr. Light is the entertainment and flamboyant side of it.
Sure, but no furrowing of the brow, kind of maybe even a little bit of a smile here and there.
No smiles.
Okay, yeah.
Not yet, at least. I mean, he definitely has. You've definitely noticed him eyeing all of you over, since you entered. Particularly those of you other than Cade.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't speak for the rest of them. In fact, I'd be curious to know what brought the lot of you here as well. Other than the great festivities, of course.
Are you
Well,
asking? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
There's not very many places I've traveled on this continent, and this is the closest I've ever been to anything related to the Feywild.
Mm.
Well, I don't want to dour your mood, but if this is one of the first places you visited in the material plane, I can probably guess that most of the rest of it's going to be rather disappointing. It's a rather high bar to set, if you don't mind me saying.
Well, it's just this continent. Are we on the Sword Coast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But this is certainly an exciting introduction to what this place has to offer.
Yes. Yeah, it's fantastic in that way. It can bring you the joys of the home plane that it's stationed on every year and the wonders of the Feywild. So it's quite magnificent. Anyone else have anything particular that drew them to the carnival?
Domino will kind of like quietly chime up and like not try and show his face too much. Well, I'm here for the open position of the tarot card reader, although I did want to bring that up at first because I didn't want you to think I'm trying to sway your opinion for the job. I want my work to do the speaking for me, so I was hesitant to bring it up.
Oh, yes. Well, we heard good things from Mr. Roslov, so I don't see why, with the carnival winding down and how you've behaved yourself around the carnival with its guests, I wouldn't see why we wouldn't move forward with your employment, Mr.
Mr. Faust, Domino Faust, please.
Faust. Okay, sorry. So much has happened since Roslov mentioned your name earlier in the evening, and I must apologize.
Of course, I nothing of it. I just respectfully didn't want you to think that I was here trying to talk myself up for the position. Like I said, I like my work to speak for me.
We could deal with that. Mr. Witch pipes up. We can deal with that when everything's winding down for the night. We can get your contracts drawn up and you can sign it if it's to your liking.
Of course, much appreciated. Thank you.
I seem to remember getting my tarot read the last time I was here, some years ago. I wonder whatever happened to that guy. He seemed like a nice enough gentleman.
I believe our last tarot card reader took a leave of absence. I believe he turns and looks at Mr. Witch, kind of with like a questioning look.
Insight check.
And he never returned. And Mr. Witch just kind of does one of those slow blinks and kind of nods his head. If you want to, go for it.
That's just too bad, though. Then again, we may never have met Domino had he not taken a leave of absence. So perhaps it's all for the best.
I mean, you definitely think that something's up with that. You definitely think that that's either not the whole story or just not true.
Man, that's a good insight check.
Roma's staring daggers at these two bros.
Yes, and I neglected to make note of the fact that we have the Monarch here. Domino.
Oh, yeah. It's a very common name. Please.
That's crazy. I mean, before I guess that's truly how special this carnival is. Before here, I've never met someone else named Domino, and yet here we are.
You're a Domino, Mr. Faust, and our Monarch is a Domino as well.
I know. Crazy how fate works.
You can call me by my nickname. My nickname Roma.
Which is short for Domino, naturally.
Yes.
Oh.
It is a regional name.
So, you prefer Roma?
Yes, I do, and thank you so much for making me your monarch. I noticed that the crown, it disappeared, so I was wondering if there was anything, I get as the monarch.
Oh. Yes, I mean the crown stays with the carnival, unfortunately, and you see Mr. Witch kind of like tap a box that he was leaning on behind him as he kind of stands up and turns to the side. You see the box that they took the crown out of. He kind of taps it with his hand. Says it does stay with the carnival. Usually it would stay with you until you left the grounds or remove it. But you get to keep the title of Witchlight Monarch, which holds great weight in the carnival. And
Oh shoot! Oh
Sure
man!
does. The Crown Monarch Domino.
yes,
It's gonna
Domino
stay in
Domino
carnival
Roma.
history.
Yes, Domino Roma. Everyone was. Oh man, that stinks. I was hoping to maybe have something else. I don't know. Do you think maybe I could like ask a question or two, like as part of my reward as a monarch?
Um, it doesn't need to be a reward. We're just having a conversation. Just wanted to meet the individuals who did so well at the extravaganza. It's usually, anyone that does such a good job when taking part and has a good spirit about it. We love to talk to. So I think you're our last conversation for the evening. Is that right, Mr. Witch? He says, it is. And you see Mr. Witch pull out a pocket watch, much like Burley did, but his is much more pristine. It's golden. It doesn't have a blemish on it, and it seems to glow a little bit with this golden hue, a little bit, ever so faintly. Certainly not to the degree as the vein did when its energy was released. But he kind of pops it open and says, which can't last much longer because we have wrapping up to do, but by all means.
Oh, great. Well, I would hate to take up too much of your time. You're both very busy people. So I was just wondering, as the monarch, I like to kind of know who I'm associated with. So, have you ever heard of the Hourglass Coven?
Oh my gosh. Oh my
I
gosh.
freaking knew this was gonna
Does that
happen. But
ring
We
a
all-
bell for you?
We all thought it. You said it.
Roma's got her eyebrows like she's looking him dead in the eyes.
At the mention of the Hourglass Coven, you see Mr. Witch kind of perk up a little bit, and he had his left hand resting near the Witchlight vein, which was kind of in between him and whoever came in last would be closest to the door. So either Domino or McKeat, probably McKeat. And
yeah,
you
he's
see
hiding behind Domino.
see his hand not shoot down for the vein, but it just goes. He just grabs the vein, doesn't move it, and he perks up a little bit and looks towards Mr. Witch, kind of with a undisguised look of worry. At this point, this has clearly taken him off guard, and you look at Mr. Witch, and Mr. Witch is just. He's just staring at you, Roma. He hasn't broken eye contact, but there's this rare expression of emotion on his face as he kind of like purses his lips for a moment, and it's just like, and he looks over at Mr. Light briefly, and then back at you. He says, "We're not familiar with that group."
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm glad I asked. I thought I might be working for a pair of liars.
Oh my god.
Well, so much for a combatless campaign.
Nico's going to just look around very perplexed. Roma, what in God's name are you talking about?
Wait. Nico, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? I came to this carnival to find someone important to speak to, and I find out people are missing. I find out that you're working for kidnappers.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
Miss Roma, Mr. Light or Mr. Witch pipes up. We're aware of the missing belongings and the individual that's currently missing at the carnival, but you must understand, with so many people going in and out of the carnival throughout the night, it is not uncommon for belongings to go missing, let alone someone to lose their way until the end of the evening when things calm down. You can't expect us to be responsible for such things.
Oh, was that Mr. Light or Mr. Witch?
Mr. Witch, the serious
Mr.
one.
Oh, Mr. Witch, I don't doubt that you know things are going missing at the carnival. I doubt that you don't know who is taking them.
If there are forces at work, then they are certainly beyond our control. And then
But
Mr.
are
Light,
you in their control?
absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And at this point, Mr. Light pops up and goes, kind of snaps himself out of a trance a little bit. He goes, oh, yes, the wheel of time turns ever round. What's lost is lost. What's gone is gone.
Insight check.
I thought you were going to say found. I wish you had, Mr.
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Mickey is 100% torn between, like, sitting in the back eating popcorn, watching Roma, like, grill these guys, and being, like, very terrified of these creepy men.
Yeah, Domino, I mean, their break in demeanor certainly has provided an opportunity to you for you to pry into, like, potentially what's going on. I mean, they're definitely caught off guard in, like, in a way that's different than someone just actually not knowing what someone is talking about.
Yeah.
You catch my drift.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like they know more about the disappearances. You gauge that they certainly probably know more about the Hourglass Coven, whatever it is. But they're very averse to speaking about it.
I don't want to speak for Roma, but it seems, well, I think she's concerned about the halfling that, well, word is there was a halfling that went missing at the Hall of Illusions earlier.
Yes.
You've heard about this then?
Of course, we hear about all things that go on at the carnival. What is your concern about this individual? Are you a family member? A friend?
I can't help but feel somewhat personally involved. I spoke to the halflings just before they, Ween and her significant other, just before they entered the hall.
And I'm sure individuals spoke to them just before you did. I'm not understanding your pressing concern. Mr. Rosmeros, I believe?
Yes, I am just concerned for their well-being is all. I want everybody to enjoy their time at the carnival. I just and you could see Nico's visibly like tugging on his collar.
And I assure you, Mr. Rosmeros, as a man of business, and the carnival being a business itself that relies on reputation primarily, we are also just as concerned as you are and are doing the best we can to return this individual, or find them, if you will.
If I can butt in for just a moment, what do you have to say about the Kinku that's been seen on the fairgrounds?
Yes.
You know the one.
Yes. Mr. Witch seems to begin to speak, but Mr. Light kind of pipes in and says, "She's just a disgruntled guest and troublemaker whose patron or something that her powers rely on dwells. Something's gone wrong, and not really any of our business. Just she seems to want to be prying for answers that we don't have."
Yeah, at that point, or kind of upon them saying that, Nico is just gonna blurt out, Zablina from Prismir, and just very quickly try to catch any kind of reaction from them, and then cast Gift of Gab. And so he says that he tries to get their reaction to see if that like perks them up, or if there's a look of recognition, and then he's going to chant, that Kenku seems like a lot of like he's speaking a lot of nonsense, and that's what they hear instead. So they're with the Gift of Gab. I say that and get their gauge their how they interact with it, and then the words in their mind change so that I've said something else.
Okay.
That's cool ability.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely get a reaction when you mention Zabilna. It's not as strong of a reaction when the Hourglass Coven was mentioned, but it's still like Mr. Light isn't very good at hiding his emotions. He again just kind of like cocks his head and it's like taken aback for a moment when you say that, and Mr. Witch like kind of just raises one of his eyebrows at you, like kind of inquisitively, like kind of you get the sense that he's like unsure how you know this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like so what are you changing the words to be?
So
or are you waiting to hear their response?
It has to be within 6 seconds because it's just a turn, I think. That but in the last 6 seconds, they'll remember is the words I spoke to cast the spell, which were that Kenku speaks, or sounds like he speaks utter nonsense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
so there's this weird effect to like the others in the room that heard me say that, where it's kind of like there's like a double sound, like Nico's voice kind of has like a double sound to it, and both words are expressed at the same time almost to those that the spell isn't affecting.
Sure. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a like they're taken aback. They're unsure how you know this. So do you want them to respond to the Zabilna part or the Kenku part?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be up to your interpretation. Whatever, if they responded within the 6 seconds, I'd guess it would be to the Zabilna part, and then their mind would basically be wiped immediately after. But
yeah, I definitely think that they would. The time that they would kind of be like stun locked when you said that, they probably would respond to the Kenku part.
Yeah.
Because 6 seconds isn't enough to like for them to
be
like, because it would probably be like, what do you like? So you're probably like, yes, that Kenku quite troublesome. If you manage to run into her, don't trust anything she says. She just wants the carnival to have a bad name.
Okay, interesting.
Anyways, was there anything else that you all would like to speak about? Or, I mean, You have any favorite attractions or anything? We seem to have wound down a rather awkward path of your friend here, the Monarch, not quite knowing what she's talking about.
Yes, I'm glad you asked. My favorite attraction was the caravan full of 2 lying executives.
Oh my gosh. Ruthless.
So let me understand for the both of you. The Hourglass Coven does seem to be out of your control. Correct?
Mr. Witch kind of begins to speak, and then Mr. Light pops in and says, "Again, young lady, we are unaware of this Hourglass Coven that you speak of." And he kind of gives you a stern look. He's like, "I don't know what you heard prior to venturing to the carnival or while here, but I can assure you we haven't entangled ourselves with any entities known by that name."
Well, then what do you call them? Cade sort of
Shit.
runs out of patience. Takes a page from Roma's book.
We don't call them anything, Mr. Kelsang, because we don't do business with anyone that I know of, at least, that goes by that name. I would tread carefully if I were you, as one of my employees.
Domino says nothing.
Yeah, Nico is inching towards the door at this point.
Don't go anywhere, Nico. We're not done here yet.
Yeah, he freezes up. Nico's gonna send a little message just under his breath. They might hear him, but he's whispering. I don't know what you're playing at, Roma, but wow, whatever it is, get on with it.
I'm trying to think how to.
You don't have to respond, but
Yeah. Nico, I'm going to find out more about what these people did with the Hourglass Coven to Zibilna.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Nico just like his memory flashes and remembers that this sort of affects Roma on a personal level.
So, back to what we were talking about. Any favorite rides? How about you, little? When you haven't said much, you kind of, Mr. Light's addressing you, Makit. Any favorite rides for this evening? Kind of, you can tell Mr. Light's demeanor. He's kind of like cocking a half smile at this point. It's very faked.
I mean, I enjoyed the snail racing, I guess, but I'm still a bit bothered by the disappearances. Seems a lot of employees here have had people go missing.
Employees?
Well, yes. We've heard the rumors about some of the people. Is Burley in here?
He's not.
Okay.
Yeah, he closed the door behind him, I think, right?
Cool.
It might be just outside, but
I don't know what rumors you heard, but surely they can't be true. People like spreading rumors all the time, right?
But you admitted to the disappearances.
It's true. Play back the tape.
Well, yes, the few belongings that have been reported tonight, and the halfling man, yes, but no one else.
This year, right?
We have had incidents in the past.
Well, how do you guys investigate this? It seems to be frequent enough.
Mr. Witch steps in and says, the incidences we can investigate as long as they stay within carnival grounds, but as soon as lead elsewhere, there's nothing we can do. We're not ones to go searching in a realm that's not our own for people that decide to wander off.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Maybe
Mr.
let's start over. Roma's concern for these guests and previous employees has got her riled up into an awful state. But we, especially I, as a member of the carnival, were greatly concerned about these disappearances, and we want to help. If even people think something that we all hope is not true, that people are being taken, if there's if those are unclaimed rumors, we need to do our due diligence to stomp them out with factual responses. We all hope it doesn't happen, but we want to clear your names. We want the Witchlight Carnival to be what it always has been. And he sort of trails off, waiting for a response from
Mr. Light kind of like just hunches over a little bit and looks at Mr. Witch. Mr. Witch just is deadpanning you, Cade, and says, since the moment you and your new friends have walked in here, all you've done is grill me and Mr. Light about matters that are beyond our control. I have a hard time believing that your group shares the same sentiment as you do, Mr. Kelsang.
If I may...
Well then, bid them go rest, and we'll continue our conversation. I am still newer blood to the carnival, but it's quickly becoming a home for me. And I'll do what I can to defend it.
If we'll be gone by the time your friends wake up. Were you going to say something, Mr. Rosemaros?
Oh, well, merely that I think what we all want is the truth, and we merely want, as Cade eloquently said, for the Witchlight to continue, and whatever way we could aid in that, we'd be happy to, or at least I would.
Mr. Witch turns from you after kind of looking at your eyes for a moment after you finish your statement and turns to Roma and says, and what is it that you want?
I want to know more about this coven that you claim not to know of. And I want to know why they are stealing things.
Why?
Yes, why the people?
No, why do you want to know? Assuming we even knew, what could that information... How could that benefit you in any way?
Your coven has stolen something that is very precious to me. Or at least they've done something with it.
And what is that?
Oh, it's a little thing. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called Zabilna.
Gasp from the audience.
One of you three, Nico. Actually, not Roma. So either Nico or Cade, make a persuasion check.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give us a moment, if you will.
Oh, please take as long as you like. I will literally be here all night.
Mr. Witch steps back a few steps towards the back end of the cabin where no one is, and he says, "Mr. Light." And Mr. Light stands up quickly and goes, and they begin discussing something in a hushed tone while you all sit there for a moment. There's a moment where you guys can do anything that you want before they come back.
I think this is going well.
Nico is visibly shaking and sweating.
Domino's gonna lean in. You guys are doing great. Just leave me out of this.
I'm in a caravan full of liars and cowards.
Roma, as much as I enjoy your spunk, you surely are able to see they're not responding to your hostility.
I'm sorry, Kate. It's all I know. It's my default setting.
That tracks.
But you're right. Kate, you're right. Okay.
At this point, it may be too late to try to shift gears or learn new tricks. But in the future, consider that the hardest blow doesn't always come from a quickly swung fist. And Cade makes some cool martial arts motions with his hands. With that little proverb.
Nico's gonna quickly take a coin out of his pocket and give it a little flip. And it you see what turns up heads is basically like a head kind of like his. It's a satyr head, but not exactly his. And he just quickly pockets it again. I trust your lead here, Roma.
You see that, Kate? The coin agrees with me.
After a moment...
Coin may be the only thing that they make their decisions by.
After a moment, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light step back towards you all, and they say, well, Mr. Witch says, Zabilna is the patron of the Witchlight Carnival. She created it, and she has domain over it, but we have not been in contact with her for some time. I do not know about this coven that you speak of, nor will I admit any business doings between the carnival and them. But if you seek Zabilna, then perhaps we can come to an agreement, and we could find your way there sooner rather than later.
Sorry, Tyler, to say something.
Go ahead. Yeah.
He's looking basically at you, Roma, because you're the only one that's mentioned Zybilna.
Okay, Mr. Witch. I will accept what you say now. That you do not know the coven, and then you don't even know why or where they have taken Zybilna. I will accept that. But we still would like your assistance in this matter. If Zybilna did create the carnival, I think it would be in your best interest to locate her. Correct?
Indeed.
Then please tell me, what assistance can you offer?
Since the carnival was created by Zybilna, there is a way to traverse between the two here in the carnival. Could send you to her realm, if that is what you would like, but I would ask in return that you refrain from spreading any of these false rumors about the carnival and its owners, and see that you do not return to the carnival in some time. Perhaps let yourselves and your heads cool off a bit before returning to its festivities on its next visit to this plane.
Go? Oh, you want us to go to the Feywild?
I don't want you to go anywhere other than anywhere but here at this point, if I'm being frank.
Away from us.
But since you seem to be so obsessed with the idea of Zybilna, and Mr. Kelsang here claims that you have only the carnival's best intentions in mind, then that is what we can offer. His passage to a place where you may be able to make a difference. If not, then forget this conversation ever happened. But either way, the rumors you are spatting at me and my associate here will stay in this wagon, whether or not we're going to be doing business with one another.
Roma, perhaps it's worth considering. After all, if they are not being truthful here, we could see for ourselves.
Yes, if it resolves the missing Zybilna situation, I'm willing to accept the help of these disingenuous fellows.
Kind of gives you not a smirk, but kind of a scoff. And he turns away from you three and says, the other half of your party has been rather quiet. Will they be following you?
That is up to them.
Mr. Faust and I don't know your name, little one.
It is Makit.
Domino will finally chime in. I mean, I'm not too familiar with this group or this patron, but I mean, especially if I'm hoping that the carnival might be a home like Mr. Cade has felt it become to him. I want it to be at its best state. I want it to be as good and for the people as possible. So if there's anything I can do to help get it there, then yeah, I'll go with them.
I can sense that you're a man of business, that I can respect that. Mr. Faust, and if you do choose to go with him and make meaningful change to the benefit of the carnival, I can assure you that coin will be the least of your worries upon your return.
Domino just kind of gives him a nod, or a cheerful nod. Not cheerful. Yes.
Hey,
a
whose side
nod.
are you? Whose side are you on, bro?
Money.
Me money.
You seem rather scared, Makit, was it? Will you be going with these individuals or returning to some of the attractions for the evening?
You want to send us to the Feywild?
I don't want to send you anywhere. I'm not going to make you do anything.
Look, I've been wanting to go to the Feywild for years, so where and when and how do we go there right now?
So I assume we have a deal.
Yes, we have a deal for now. Please shake my four-fingered hand.
He reaches down and shakes your hand.
I grip it.
Okay. And you can tell he kind of gives you a grimace, kind of like, Mr. Light, see them to the Hall of Illusions. Have Burley escort you. I'll follow close behind. I'll need to wrap up a few things here. I'll be there in just a moment. Yes. And he bangs on the side of the wagon, and the door opens, and Burley says, Boss? He says, we're going to the Hall of Illusions for one last gallant through the halls for the evening. Can we quickly make our way there, Burley? Behind the attractions to get there as quickly as possible? Right. Follow me. And he kind of steps to the side, says, Mr. Witch grabs the vein, or Mr. Light grabs the vein and hops out and says, come along. And disappears around the side of the wagon.
I still don't trust these these guys.
Yeah, Nico kind of gives a heavy sigh. Well, perhaps we don't have to trust them. If we are indeed going to the Feywild, we'll be able to see for ourselves what is truly going on there. And at this point, Nico's going to cast another... Or wait, is message one you can see? Oh, target within range. Okay, so never mind. I was thinking about messaging the Kenku, but that it's a target within 120 feet, so...
Oh, yeah. We lost track of... I still have the doll, too.
Right. I'm just gonna cast it anyway. I don't know, and it might fail, but it's a cantrip, so I'm just going to try to target the Kenku if it is indeed within range, and say, we're going to whisper to myself, we're going to the Feywild, we're going to investigate Zbilna.
Okay. You don't get a response.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you guys want to head there? Mr. Witch is kind of waiting for you guys to pop out of the wagon.
I'll step out, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be the last one out.
Yeah. I keep forgetting I'm muted.
Yeah, I'll head out.
Guessing McKeith's going to, of course.
Nah, I thought I would just kind of like hang out with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light some more. They seem like pretty cool dudes.
McKeith, big bad, confirmed.
Secretly the big bad all along. As we're traveling, McKeith's still very quiet, but she seems oddly alert. Like her eyes are open very wide and her tail is twitching. She seems very like ready to go wherever we're gonna go.
Okay. You guys head towards the Hall of Illusions. Burley and Mr. Light actually lead you not through the main thoroughfare, where a bunch of partygoers are still around, but they bring you around towards the back of the Hall of Illusions, and you actually look and you see that the unconscious body of Candlefoot is no longer there, but Mr. Witch heads towards one of the drapes that makes up the back of the Hall of Illusions and pulls it back, and he just walks into the maze. It's just a back entrance to the maze, and you all follow him, and it's kind of strange. Whoever's in the back notices that almost as soon as you enter, you hear footsteps behind you, and Mr. Witch has caught up with all of you. And as you all are led and backed up by Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, you see the reflections in the mirror show them as gloomy Shatterkai children. And you all would know that Shatterkai are like not... They're a race of elves that live in the Shadowfell.
Okay.
With your own, and you see your own youthful reflections following behind. Soon they call you to halt, and the mirrors now reflect everyone's true age. You see Mr. Light push in on one of the tall, 8-foot-high mirrors that make up these halls, and it gives way. And you step into a space behind it that is like, it's tented. It's like an interior tent, but that can't be possible because you know that there's no smaller tent inside of the Hall of Illusions. So you all assume that it's just some magical space that led somewhere else. But what you see when you enter is it's completely empty. It's basically the inside of a small carnival tent, save for one circular mirror in an ornate frame. On top of the frame, emblazoned in its framing, is the large symbol of an hourglass.
Suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be.
As the rest of you step in, Mr. Witch closes the mirror that you entered through behind you, and he says, "Everything you seek, and more, perhaps, lies behind this mirror. If you mean to step through it, then stand in front of it and repeat this rhyme. Hither, thither, here and there, wander, yonder, show me where. I must warn you, however, that this mirror is a one-way trip. You cannot simply step back through into this realm. So if you step through, you're going to have to find your own way back to this world."
Hither, thither, here and there. Wander, yonder. What was the rest of it?
Show me where.
Show me where. Okay.
Does anyone have a way to get back?
But by all means, whichever one of you wants to activate the way.
We do have a literal rhyming specialist.
Indeed, it is quite the limerick. You want me to go first, though?
I think you're the most qualified for the the
We all have
passage.
to say it, or are you just like opening the door?
One person saying it will activate it, and then the rest of you can step through if you want to go through with your
Yeah.
whatever it is you've decided to do.
Um,
Well, the favor for you, that thing that we have decided to do.
Perhaps if you value not spreading rumors over opening a way to another realm, then yes, perhaps you're performing some insurmountable deed, Roma.
uh, well, I'd be happy to say the incantation if that is what you would all like. Is everybody ready?
Well, I guess. I mean, how's it gonna work? Come back here? You guys are gone because the carnival's ended.
It's a great question, Domino. How will we find you when we discover what we need to discover?
Likely, we will no longer be here, but the nature of which you return to this world will be entirely up to you, and however you discern it. Again, you cannot step through this portal, so
I don't mean to turn the topic a little more selfishly, but how am I supposed to find you about employment or possible employment once we're back?
yes. As for you and Mr. Kelsang, do not worry. We're a carnival that can travel through realms. We'll certainly be in touch. Do not worry about that. If that is truly what you're worried about at this moment.
I mean, it's on my mind, but all right. Well, as long as we'll be in touch, then yeah, I guess off to the Feywild.
Oh, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. There's a man here at the carnival that will probably be quite upset that I'm leaving. So, could maybe you have Burley go let him know that I'm off to the Feywild, but like 2 hours from now when it's too late for him to do anything about it, ideally.
Yes, we can arrange that. What's his name?
His name is Merton. He's a pretty dour-looking gentleman bard.
Merton the Bard, of course. Is there any message you would like to give him?
Off to the Feywild. Very excited. Be back soon. Love, Makit.
Oh.
Quite. Mr. Light here will ensure that reaches the ear of your bardic friend.
Thank you. Oh, and she'll give them a little gemstone bracelet that was a little bit handmade, and she'll ask for them to give that to him as well.
Of course. Everyone make a perception check.
Mm-hmm. Oh, bad.
Nice, everyone but Nico. Nico's shook about having to recite this limerick.
That's true. He's like making sure he's got it memorized and
A true artist.
Yeah.
Nico's just like reciting scales in his head.
Hither, thither, down in there.
Makit.
Sorry, guys, I dropped something on my desk.
Sorry, I thought. There you go. Oh my gosh.
Poug.
With the
everyone-
giant golden eyes.
Everyone except for Nico, probably because Nico's stepping up to this mirror to say this incantation. But you all see two reflections appear in the glass behind Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. Like they're facing away from this so they don't see it. They're facing towards your group. You see the reflection of the crescent moon entity appear almost like a shadow in one of the mirrors behind this larger mirror. And you also see on the other side of the mirror the reflection of Kettle Stream appear as well. And the shadow-like figure just sways creepily and kind of looks and like puts its palms up to the mirror almost like it's trying to come out. Kettle Stream's reflection just looks at each one of you, and when and Kettle Stream just lifts up a hand and waves a little bit, just a little nervous wave to your group. So, should we get this done sooner rather than later? He pulls out his pocket watch, looks down at it, and snaps it up.
I suppose that's my cue. Nico kind of stands in front of the mirror and looks back at the rest of the party. Kind of takes a moment to take in each one of them, and then turns back. Hither, thither, here and there, wander yonder, show me where.
A swirl of blue glittery energy ignites inside of this circular mirror, and it almost like a whirlpool forming on this mirror. It swirls around and creates a portal of magical blue energy, looking like this.
Ooh. Mr. Light over there looking extra.
He says,
"Good job." Got a wagon.
Now simply, all you need to do is step through.
Nico kind of wordlessly, he takes the rope that Choose is attached to, his pony, and sort of tugs it, and he just wordlessly walks through with Choose.
You have your pony with you right now?
Yeah, he's been hanging out with us the last couple hours, so.
He was with us in the trailer with Mr. Light.
Well, no, he wasn't in the trailer. I probably left him outside for that. But...
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. The Choose can go through with you.
Cool.
You all watch as Nico and Choose disappear, and the whirlpool almost begins, almost like bubbles, as if it was actually water before coming to rest again. Well, who's next?
Mickey will sort of like she's trying not to skip, but it's not really looking like she's putting that much effort into it. She's like clearly skipping to the portal to jump through.
Okay, you jump through. You're gone.
Cade pulls one of these numbies. You check that quick GIF in Discord.
Through the portal?
He gets a little tuck and roll and just
running flip jump.
Yeah, he looks like, he's in the carnival, he looks around, he just sort of gives like a short stroke and then takes, that little like hop step and then just starts flipping.
After seeing that, Domino's gonna slightly roll his eyes, fix his shirt collar, and walk through the portal.
All right.
To be fair, the perspective of this like art with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light makes it look like it's not just like a wall portal.
Yeah. Roma is left alone with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
Roma's gonna slowly walk over to the portal. This might be a weird question. Can I smell anything through the portal?
No.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
What a weird question.
I want to know if I can smell the
Did you s-
Feywilds.
Huh?
Well, Roma goes to step through the mirror, and before she steps through, she stops for a moment and says, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Light, if we do find Zablina, and we find out you are complicit in this, I will be back for more than just my crown."
Gives you a little bit of a snide smirk and exhales through his nose. Says, "Well, I look forward to us meeting again, Shirley."
We will see about that. I hop through the portal.
Before you hop through the portal, as you turn, you feel Mr. Witch grab your cuff before you go through and pulls you close and says, "Mind the rule of 3. Future, present, and past." And then Mr. Light steps up to you and in a shaky voice says, "Find the alicorn and free the dormant queen at last." And then you're shoved into the portal. And that's where we will end tonight.
Oh my gosh, dude.
What the heck?
Whew.
That
Oh
was
my
a
gosh.
lot.
Well,
Ah,
Domino's never getting paid.
yeah. I never got on paper.
You're gonna get paid. You're gonna get paid in honor.
Part about honor, dignity, pride.
Really bummed that you didn't get a job signed on paper.
Also, Zerk, I'm pretty sure I had more gold than what you put back.
You did.
I thought I was in the 200s.
You did.
It says I'm at one.
Yeah, and I told you it was roughly the same amount.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Seems
fucker.
It seems like Kettle Stream took a little for herself.
a little off the top.
Well, whole
Oh
increase.
my god.
If I had noticed that, I would never have gone through this portal. I'm going hunting.
We retcon it.
It was like 4 gold, Brett.
I don't care if it puts me at 201. I want to be in the 200s.
Well, then you gotta earn it. Get looking, boy.
Alright,
gosh.
good sesh.
Yo, I was white knuckling that entire cart wagon scene. I did not expect Roma to do that.
Yeah.
I was literally like, yes, this is amazing.
Was that too much?
No,
that I
dude.
kind of supersede the party trying to be more subtle?
No, not at all. That's what Roma would have done, right? I mean, that felt like it.
Yeah, she would be kind of perturbed at them like dodging around all the questions and stuff when there's so much kind of like at stake for her. I really appreciate Cade being the good cop, coming in with the good cop. Oh no.
Well, when we have insane cop and like scaredy cats, somebody has to be the voice of reason.
Well, I'm sorry I was.
I'm gonna
like-
bite your frickin' fingers off. I hate you, you demon. And everyone else is like, oh, jeez, I'm sorry to bother you. And of course, I'm exaggerating. I had a blast doing that whole part, particularly.
Yeah.
McKee 100% did not have a plan or anything at all. She was just like, I don't even remember why we're going in here.
Oh my gosh.
Are you sure I can't smell anything through the portal?
Let's go ahead and end the stream, and then we can chat for a few more minutes, and
Okay.
then take off.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for checking it out. I'll have this up on YouTube in a couple days. So later.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you, everybody.